Hello folks, this is Johnny again, and today let's try to make a Chevelle tone. This should be quite exciting, also for me because this is one of my favorite bands. Now, I recorded a few snippets again here. Yeah, these are songs from their album This Type of Thinking, one of my favorite albums of all time. And now let's get started. So Pete uses a Mesa Boogie Mark IV. We don't have the Mark IV in here, but we do have the Mark II C+, and that one actually did get me satisfyingly close. So let's go with that one. No need to fiddle around a whole lot with other amps. And let's switch to the modern cap again, because he also uses rectifier caps. And this also got me satisfyingly close. Switching to the SM57, pretty standard. Now this alone doesn't really get us close. This doesn't sound a whole lot like their tone yet. And here's the thing, an integral part of Pete's setup is the Sans Amp GT2 before the amp, as a kind of booster pedal of all things. And luckily, TH3 actually has exactly that one. So that kind of surprised me very, very pleasantly. And just to show you, let's take out the amp and the cap and see what this actually does on its own. So it's a preamp and it kind of acts like a real amp in itself, and using that as booster pedal before an amplifier that already distorts quite a lot, this kind of surprised me. But hey, you never stop learning, you know, there are so many possibilities of what you want to do. And I watched a video of his guitar rig rundown, and there you can see the pedal and how he sets it up for the most part. So these three options here, he puts them all to the top. So mic is off axis, mod is hot wired, and amp is California. And the drive here pulls down, so not too high. And that kind of makes sense, because in this way this really acts like a just slightly grittifying and EQ shaping booster pedal. Let's pull down the level just for safety measures, because the amp will also distort quite a bit. Now let's turn those two on and see what we got. Right, quite the difference. And now we also need EQ. So let's go with the EQ that actually belongs to the Mark II C+. And also in the video you can see how he sets it up, and he totally pulls down the mids in here, which makes sense because this amp has a lot of mids. And let's boost the low end here to about 10 dB and the mid range here to about 6 dB. Okay, I should have first started off with the mic placement a little bit, because just boosting the high end like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, going down from the center gets us closer to his tone, to his nuances. And here the top end boost makes more sense now, because we lose quite some top end when we go off center. And now from here on, let's try it out in the mix, see what we got. Yeah, still needs a little bit of EQ work. I noticed quite a bit of harshness also in there. That's not necessarily because of my boosting here. That's just a more specific range in the 2 to 3K area. But before I go ahead butchering this tone with post EQ, let's try just taking the mic away from the cap, see what happens. You see, just putting the mic at a distance kind of takes out some of that harshness in the upper range. So that's a neat trick to keep in the back of your head. And yeah, let's do a little bit of post EQ now. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I hear quite a bit of low mids going on here in the 300 to 400 hertz range. Let's listen to the guitar tone itself again. Okay, I guess something in those lines. So the mic placements can be a little bit crucial. You really, when you do very slight moves, you do change the nuances quite noticeably, I'd say. But I guess this gets us close enough. Let's just take it from the top, listen in. Okay, I still notice with the intro, when you listen to the original song, it has a little bit more bite. So let's boost the highs here on the Sandstorm just a little bit to get a bit more bite and that edge in the pick attack. You know what? I still want to try something out. So yeah, let's turn on this bass boosting switch here. This gives us a more stronger low end response without getting any trouble of extra mud. And especially with the Chevelle tone, you do kind of want to have a fat, rich sound. You don't want it to be too thin. That's why also don't filter out too much. I put the filter here to about 90 Hertz. 90 to 100, not more. Okay, this is a hard rock tone, not a modern genty tone. So we do want to have some fatness going on. Let's listen in again. Okay, let's go to the other riff. Yeah, I'd say that gets us close enough. So let's sum it up again. What did we do? The Sense Amp GT2. First of all, using it as a booster pedal, put all these features here to the top, and then pull down the drive just to get a little bit more grit. And depending on your pickups, of course, you can put in a little bit more of the highs. For my pickups, I do kind of need it. And then pulling down the level a little bit just to be safe so it doesn't distort the amp too much. And then here I turn on the lead bright channel to get more distortion, and yeah, just set the volume 1 and volume 2 to get a nice distortion. And then I also boost the mid and the treble and turn on the bass extra response here, whatever that is. And the EQ, quite some drastic EQ. When we turn this off now, the guitars will sound like a telephone. So here again, first I pulled down the 720 all the way and then balanced it out, the low end and the upper range here accordingly. And then the modern cap with the 57 mic, a little bit away from the center, about at the edge of the cap, and then pull it away until you hear that harshness dialing down. And then just some general post EQ again. Taking down some lower mids a little bit with a higher Q, because I don't want to suck out too much of the lower mids, just that range. And then finally some resonances. Okay, and that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I hope I could dial in the tone to your satisfaction. And please leave it in the comments below what kind of bands you want me to look at for in the future. And I shall see you next time.